Welcome to today's episode of For Pete's Sake, brought to you by Navantis. As we look in on Pete, the hardworking compliance manager at Evermore Oil and Gas, it's near month's end, and he's trying to determine what events, tasks, and activities need to be scheduled for various projects and assets in the month ahead. Pete doesn't have a handy source he can go to for an accurate, up-to-date listing of all the commitments the company has made to local stakeholders at each location, or the activities associated with those commitments. So instead, he has to piece together the information he needs from emails, spreadsheets, and other sources. He has no way of knowing whether he's capturing all the information he needs for a complete picture of what's going on throughout the company, or what lies ahead in the next several weeks. But Pete's good at his job, so he keeps plugging away and hopes for the best. Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. It seems an audit revealed that a major commitment that closed last month is non-compliant because the referenced material was wrong. And on top of that, the audit was triggered by a landowner complaint. So now the issue is in the public eye. Jennifer, a project manager at Evermore, wants to know which stakeholders have to be notified and how soon. She needs Pete to tell her the procedure for handling the situation and which regulatory agencies need to be informed so she can make the calls necessary to keep the company in compliance with the rules. But before Pete can find all the answers to Jennifer's questions, he receives an urgent email from one of the regulatory bodies. Evidently, the agency has already found out about the non-compliance issue through its own investigation and is asking Pete for a history of commitment and regulatory compliance activities related to the field asset in question. In fact, they're requesting a history of the whole project for the last 12 months. Pete suspects this issue will have a ripple effect on the project's completion dates. He needs to figure out who's responsible for the commitment so he can track down the materials and address the compliance gap. And then he needs to pull together a list of all the people to be informed. Failure to advise all the right stakeholders could result in non-compliance fines that would eat away at the overall project budget. He also realizes that the company's image may take a beating with partners and stakeholders. Oh boy, just what Pete needs. That's Hank, the VP of Operations. Hank wants Pete to get him a report on the issue and why it happened. Before lunch. Meanwhile, Monique, who works in Evermore's Community Relations Department, is preparing for a town hall. Unfortunately, the Community Relations database isn't connected with the other departments in the company, so she can't directly access the information she needs. She'll have to face a group of landowners without having a good view of everything they've submitted. She doesn't even know there was a landowner complaint or a non-compliance event. So she's in for a surprise when the issue is raised at the town hall. She'll be caught off guard and unprepared. Poor Monique. Poor Pete. And now a word from our sponsor. Evermore is having problems managing the information needed to track, identify, and manage all the company's commitments related to its projects and operations. Without the appropriate steps, there's bound to be trouble ahead. Fortunately, Navantis can help. Using an approach based on Microsoft Dynamics CRM, Navantis offers a solution that eliminates data silos within the business, so information can be structured, organized, and accessed by different groups within the organization. The solution can be customized and can grow and adapt as the business grows and changes. Plus, the flexible user interface integrates with Microsoft products such as Office and SharePoint. The result? Easy-to-use features that streamline and enhance business operations, such as team collaboration, reporting, workflow automation, and mobility, all throughout the company. We now return to For Pete's Sake, where we see how Pete's day would have unfolded if Evermore knew about Navantis. Pete begins by checking his dashboard, where he can see at a glance all the events that are pre-scheduled for the company's field assets. Uh-oh, there's Jennifer calling about that issue. But this time, it's good news. She's letting Pete know that she's already entered the information into the system using her tablet. With the right information and processes, she knows exactly what to do to make sure that Evermore remains fully compliant and efficient as the incident unfolds. Pete can quickly track down the people involved and find the information needed to close the compliance gap. There's that email from the regulatory agency. By golly, he ran that report in the blink of an eye. As Pete goes back to review the incident again, he sees there's a commitment tied to the asset. So he lets the appropriate stakeholders know that they can get recent updates to their commitment by going to the stakeholder portal. Hank is able to run and print his own report, so he doesn't need to interrupt Pete's day. Monique doesn't need to interrupt Pete either, since she can access all the data she needs to prepare action plans for the town hall. She'll be able to show that Evermore is on top of the situation. She'll also be able to enter into the system any promises made to the community during the meeting, so the company can track them and follow through. At the end of the day, Nevantis has made a big difference, and not just for Pete's sake. Why not see what kind of solution Nevantis can propose for your business? There's a good chance we have ideas you haven't even considered.